Hey there guys, DMO73 here, bringing you the deck profile for the day. This is my list that I use to win states. This is Valentina 2.0 green version. I call it Val's World. You'll see why when I go through the sideboard. I am going to go through the sideboard for you guys today because people have been asking about it. So typically I don't, but I wanted to show it to you guys anyway. So, Valentina 2.0, Plotting Lord of the Seas, is the Jade ruler. She has the judgment cost of pay a blue, pay 2 colorless, and for 1 blue and 1 colorless, you can search your main deck for a Regalia, reveal it, and put it into your main deck. Then shuffle, or put it in your hand, then shuffle your main deck. She flips over, and she becomes Overlord of the 7 Seas, Valentina. So when she enters the field, you reveal any number of 7 King's rulers from your sideboard. She gains their name, their God's Art, and +100/+100 for each one revealed this way. So it's pretty big, and then that's pretty much her ability. So until the end of game, you keep them revealed. So even if she dies, they stay revealed until the end of the game. But if she flips back because she is imperishable, you don't have to re-reveal them. She'll just automatically start with those triggers because of her continuous effect. So moving into the stone lineup, this list is 4 colors: green, blue, white, black. So we run 4 Magic Stone of Deepwoods. This is the primary stone that we're going to be needing to be able to search, to be able to do things with Flipper Over. Very important. Second most important color is black, and so we use 4 Magic Stones of Black Silence. This is because we want to be able to do Rezard's God's Art. It's the second most important one, if not the most important God's Art to be able to hit. And then 2 Magic Stone of Gusting Skies to be able to play the Gwibers in the main deck, as well as hit Faria's or Arla's God's Art at certain times. So if you're wondering why they're all greens, it's because we run Gretel, and we don't want to ever miss because Gretel helps us ramp into that pretty easily. So moving into the Resonator count, we run 4 Cheshire Cats. This is obvious. It is a jump blocker. It is a draw 2, put 1 back. It is easy fodder for an Adombrali that also helps you keep drawing cards. Very good card for the list. Then we have 3 Familiar of Holy Wind, the other Wind Cat, also for more draw power and for easy fodder for Adombrali. The ramp package is 4 Elvish Priests, 4 Gretels for the low end. So obviously Elvish Priest just grants us another will, and then Gretel helps us hit other stones. Gretel is also very easy fodder for Adombrali, and Elvish Priest can be fodder for Adombrali if you're in a situation where you just float the green will and then sacrifice it to an Adombrali. But most of the time you're going to be sacking off things like Cheshire Cat, Gretel, and Familiar. And then, of course, the real powerhouse of the deck is Adombrali. This is kind of the card that makes sure that the combo goes off, that helps the combo continue going on. Sacrifice any 2 creatures. Typically, you're going to be sacrificing blue and green. That lets you produce a will of any color and draw a card. So, you have a Cheshire Cat, you have a Familiar, sack them off, play this, shuffle the Cheshire Cat back into the deck, draw. If you draw into another Cheshire Cat off of it, produce blue, and immediately play that Cheshire Cat. So essentially what just happened is you just lost a Familiar, and you have now a Cheshire Cat and a 6/8. 6/8 is very potent against Lancelots. It is a very good Lancelot wall. It is good to put pressure onto your opponent with damage. Very good card. We run 3 Fiethsing, just in case we have to play a little slower and we need some extra will production abilities. If we're not seeing the stones that we want, we can flash in a Fiethsing and get the colors we want off of that. This is also really good for playing against Lancelot plays. You can just play a little more conservatively, flash in a Fiethsing to stop their Lancelot attack, and then go into your next turn and combo off really big. And then we run 2 Gwiber. The reason why I run this is it's very easy to pull out a Gwiber in this deck, but it's not necessary. But if you can land something like a turn 2 Adombrali Gwiber, it puts your opponent in a position where they say, okay, well, do I save my answers for Valentina and just take the damage from the Gwiber, or do I have to answer this Gwiber right now? So almost like we use Gwiber like a lightning rod. I don't really care if Gwibers get killed, because it just means that's fewer answers that they have for my Valentina when I bring in Valentina later. But in testing though, a lot of people don't have an answer early on for a Gwiber, so I can usually get at least one 1200 point swing in the air against them. Very good. Then we run one of each of the 4 Sacred Beasts. We want to put these back into the deck as much as possible with Cheshire Cats to maximize the potency of Pricia's God's Art. Do lots of crazy stuff. Draw us a card, bounce a card, burn a card, gain 800, gain life. Very, very good. If you can land a Pricia's God's Art on your opponent's turn, it is incredibly, incredibly potent. And usually people just scoop at that point. Moving into the spell lineup, spells and regalia, I run 3 Rewriting Laws. This card is a godsend for this deck. It essentially says it's a green and 1, and you pay it, and you untap 2 stones that you control, draw a card, and until the end of the turn, all of the stones that you control, can produce for any color. So if you're trying to combo off, or you're trying to do Judgment or something like that, and your stone count's not agreeing with you, you play a Rewriting Laws, tap 2, untap those 2, draw a card, and now your stones are going to do exactly what you want for the entire turn. Meaning if you need to flip or combo off big or play a Cheshire Cat or search or whatever, it's going to be able to do it. You're not limited by your stone base. So this plus the heavy ramp package makes it very, very smooth, very, very consistent, and the fact that it replaces itself is amazing. And then we run 1 Sprinting of the Beast Lady in the main board, just in case Valentina gets killed, or if I, land a God's Art on my opponent's turn, like a Prisia God's Art on my opponent's turn, and then I can feed into a Sprinting of the Beast Lady. Suddenly all those Sacred Beasts and everything else is +6/+6. Follow that up with a Faria's God's Art, and you pretty much have the game. So very, very good clutch card to use in some situations. I've purely stolen games with this. For the Regalia lineup, we run 4 Laevateinn. It is the most important, and I don't necessarily like to have to search it, so that's why I play 4, because I want to see it into my hand. Plus, it helps will production, so if you want to go kind of turbo quick, you can, like you saw in the match, you can drop Laevateins as needed to be able to flip a little bit faster or play a Gretel earlier or whatever. The swiftness and the ability to tap to reduce my God's Art cost by 2 is awesome. Because she gets the name of Magus, the second effect, every time I tap it, she gains imperishable, and it reduces my God's Art cost by 2. And that's all God's Arts. It's not specifically Melgus's God's Art. So very, very potent card. This honestly is the reason why this deck works. It's one of the reasons why this deck is so potent. 2 Deathscythe, just because of the fact that, being able to steal your opponent's creatures is awesome. It also reduces God's Art cost and provides a natural bonus to defense, which can be important if I'm expecting a Flames play. I can tap this before the upkeep to make it so that when Valentina flips over, she becomes a 9/9, so she can survive a Flames. And just in general, to help prevent my opponent's ruler from getting imperishable and swiftness can be really, really important as well. And then we run 1 each of Marybell and Artemis Bow. So I don't really, with the ability to search, if I'm expecting a Flames play and I really need to play carefully, I can just search out the Marybell and take a turn. I don't really mind doing that. I never really liked having to. Yes, I could make it so that, things like Thunder and Flames of Adombrali are purely awful, but I've never been in a position really where I get double flames. With the way the deck runs, it runs smoothly enough that I'm flipping faster than they can have the potential to leave up to, 2 flames worth of will. And so even just having 1 is fine for me. I'm perfectly comfortable with just having the 1 to be able to search it out and pop other regalia possibly. The other thing is I don't really care about their regalia most of the time, so I don't really need Marybell to pop their regalia either. And then 1 Artemis Bow because it's searchable. It provides target attack, which is super important, especially if you have swiftness and it manages to go through. You can just kill their J ruler if they're not paying attention, because a lot of people forget that it gives target attack. The other thing is, if I play it after I flip, it gets 4 counters, which is just a free kill spell against things like Arla, Baja, and Sylvia. So a lot of times people don't expect this a lot, and so they'll do Judgment, but I'll have Scythe on board, so they'll be like, okay, that's fine, I'll wait a turn, and then during my upkeep, I'll search for a bow, do Judgment, play bow, and then immediately kill their dude, and they just really don't think about it. So being able to have a searchable kill spell for flyers is really, really awesome. And then because it's important, we're going to go into the sideboard package, like I said. So obviously, first part is all 7 of the 7 kings. I'm not going to go into each of their individual God's Arts because it would take a while. I'll just kind of sum them up. Untap everything you control. Untap all the Resonators you control. Burn your opponent's Resonators for a bunch of stuff as you attack. Steal a Resonator. Bring out the Sacred Beasts. We don't use this one ever. I've never used Machina's God's Art. Magus is burn a creature and get that much attack on your J ruler for the turn. And then Resart is the important one where you exile any number of cards, so remove from the game any number of Resonators from your graveyard, and then both players discard that many cards and banish that many Resonators. So this just puts your opponent in a position, especially since you can do it during your opponent's turn, like you saw, where I just wait for you to draw your card for the turn, and then before you recover, I do Resard, and I just leave you with 0 cards in your hand and on your field. So I essentially make you just waste your last turn. So if your ruler has flipped, cool, you just have your ruler. But if your ruler hasn't flipped, then all you can do that turn is tap for stone or call for or do a judgment, and you're just in a position of, well, you're screwed now. Really, 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 really powerful. Yeah, so pretty much in the order in terms of what we use Resard first. We'll follow it up with a Prisia, which is really awesome, or we'll just do whatever when it's situational. Then we'll usually do Faria or Arla. Arla is great because with Deathscythe out, you can just steal their whole board because technically Valentina is the one doing the damage. So as things get pinged and killed while you have Deathscythe procced, you're just going to start stealing all of their stuff, which is really, really, really cool. Valentina, and then Magus if we have a rewriting laws, and then we never use Machina. And then the other part of the sideboard, which is the tricky part here, if I can find it, here it is the world part. So we play, I was testing a lot with this list, and I realized that it has a large portion of the Alice World engine in it already, so with a lot of tweaking to the main board and to the sideboard to figure out ratios and make the package fit, I could easily fit in a Reflect Refrain Alice World package. And so that's what I did. So Reflect Refrain helps with filtering, helps with everything else. I don't pretty much only search once, usually. Most of the time I'm just filtering for Morgiana. And then I flip once usually to search for my second Alice World. 3 Morgiana. This is to help me, with the crazy draw consistency of where if I play a card and I'm supposed to draw, I look at the next 3 cards instead and pick one. Morgiana is awesome for making sure that play gets set up. And then only 2 Alice World. I find I don't really ever need more than 2. And again, ratios just proved that 2 is good enough that I'll see it often enough to be able to make a play. I have played Alice World for 2 Blue Will. This deck has a very easy time setting up 6 completely individual, unique Resonator types just because of the way it's built. And so I have set it up to be able to play an Alice World for just 2 Blue Will, which is just devastating to opponents. And then 2 additional sprintings to be able to finish the game off faster. Because obviously I don't have Valentina 2, so if I can do like Alice World sprinting, 3rd turn sprinting, I mean, that's 3 turns of a ton of additional damage that you're just not going to be able to deal with. Or even Alice World next turn double sprinting. I've done that before, which is just brutal. People were asking me what I typically sideboard out. That's a good question. Typically what I sideboard out to make the package fit is I side out the 4 Sacred Beasts. I really don't need them. And then based on the situation, I'll side out different Regalia. So typically I do side those 3 out, or I will side out 1 Laevateinn if I'm worried about my opponent's ruler having swiftness. So I'll like keep 5 Regalia in it and then sideboard out 3 Regalia. I only need to get rid of 7 cards to make the package stick, so it's really not that bad. I typically sideboard into the Alice World package if I'm feeling a Blazer hit, or if I'm feeling my opponent is siding in a lot of Valentina hate, which a lot of players are doing right now. And so it's really great when you just flip, they flip over like a Blazer or something else like that, and you just flip over a Reflect, and you're like, whatever, I don't care about your Blazer. Or they mained in a bunch of barrier of shadow, they sideboarded in a bunch of barriers and shadows and Heras and stuff, and you're just like, that's fine, those are all dead cards. So that's the list, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm really happy with the way this list turned out. I'm really proud of it, and I'm looking forward to continuing to play it. Hopefully I can make it stick after the next set drops. But this has been probably my favorite deck to play for a long time. So let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below. Like, comment, and subscribe as always. And until next time, this is DMO73 signing off.